All right. Welcome to the March for Science for Minnesota Everyday Scientist interview series. So over the last year, we heard reports that most Americans say they don't know any scientists. So we're hoping to demystify who and what a scientist can be by bringing interesting and fascinating scientists right to your fingertips. So I'm Dr. Nicole Morris. I'm with March for Science Minnesota, and I'm here with Sophia Agostinelli. So Sophia is a great person to select for this type of thing because she has such a fascinating life. So in addition to why she's here to talk about science with us today, she is a lacrosse player. She played in Italy. She went to Germany and played professional hockey, and she's currently a player for the Connecticut Whales in the National Women's Hockey League. She's coaching lacrosse, and if you can imagine all of that, she's also balancing the load of being a graduate student in biomedical engineering at the University of Bridgeport. So welcome, Sophia. Thank you for taking the time to join in the mission of March for Science and March for Science Minnesota.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So it's really exciting time for women's hockey, right? So with the Olympics, how does it feel to be a part of something that so many people are excited about?
It's awesome. You know, we have a lot of friends that were playing in the NWHL that are now Olympic champions, and we got to watch that. And now I see all this advertising everywhere, and I just love how it's putting us on the forefront, women's hockey.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I imagine that it's inspiring a lot of young girls to think about going into hockey, and so I'm sure that's really exciting to be a role model for so many young girls to pursue hockey, and then also STEM, which you get to be across both of those boundaries. I'm sure that's really exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I'm marginally involved in engineering because my lab is in engineering, but I study sort of human behavior. So I actually don't know that much about your field of study, right? So could you tell me a little bit about my biomedical engineering? But we're going to do this in a little bit of a fun game, because one of the things that we scientists struggle with is explaining what we do in a really nice, condensed way for people to easily digest. So I'm going to give a challenge for you to describe what you do, what you're studying, in 30 seconds or less. So this is something that I personally would really have a hard time doing. So I'm excited to put the challenge to you. Are you up for the challenge?
I'm ready.
Okay, all right, ready and go.
All right, so this should be pretty easy for me. I'm in my first semester. So right now I'm taking bioinformatics, polymer nanocomposites, biomedical materials and engineering, and an engineering colloquial class where we have guest speakers come in introducing new topics. And luckily I don't know much about engineering, so I'm learning something new each class.
Yep. All right, you had 8 seconds left. Congratulations, that's amazing. So that all sounds really fascinating, and sounds like it was a long road to get to studying all these really challenging topics. So I'm curious if you always wanted to be in science. Did you always, see yourself as being in science?
Yes. So I was always interested in science because, I have a lot of curiosity. I always question things. And for me, I really always like puzzles. And to me, science is like the corner pieces in a puzzle that puts the world in perspective. And for me, I'm always looking for the puzzles I can solve and what I can add to the puzzle. What little piece is needed to finish it. And I'm always working for this, and I enjoy it.
That's great. Well, that's a great inspiration for anyone out there that loves puzzles as well, and maybe they can help add in some other pieces of the puzzle. So I'm curious if there's anything, now that you're really immersed in science, is there anything that you really kind of wish that people knew about science? Maybe something that you didn't know before, or a common misconception that you'd love to clear up.
Yeah, so I definitely have a common misconception that I want to clear up, and that's that science can be fun. So I am often telling people about my workload and what I'm doing, and as soon as they hear my major, they kind of go like, "Oh man, your day must suck. It must be a horrible day." And I tell them, you know what, I actually enjoy going to class and I love learning. And the reason why is because people think that it's all about, memorizing all these systems or, going long lab hours, stuff like that. But in reality, what it is, I mean, there's definitely a portion that is like that. But there's also the side of it where, for example, my roommate left a glass of milk out and they started to get a film on top. And I thought, hey, let's test that. I'm sure there's something weird growing in there. That's fun. Or, the fact that we go to an anatomy class and, we have the same skeleton in there every class. So, we dress up for the holidays, have a name for it.
What's the name?
You know what? I can't even remember because it's been so long.
Well, it sounds like a blast. So you're clearly really passionate about what you do, and it really seems exciting for you. But what explicitly excites you about kind of what you're working to achieve?
So I'm really excited about specifically things like genetics and disease pathology. So what I'm really excited about that is that I can probably find a way to incorporate this new material that I'm learning in my biomedical engineering degree. So things like using polymer nanocomposites to build a biosensor that can detect the defects that are there or the pathology and be able to, but once you understand it, be able to alter the course of how it's going. So maybe you can have a strong impact on somebody's life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, being in biomedical engineering is a pretty niche sort of sliver of science, and takes a lot of time to master, I'm sure, that one topic. But if time and money were no object and you could just study anything else, is there another field of science or another field of study that you wish you could study if you had the time?
Yeah, definitely. I have always been also really interested in the medical field. So anything to do with anatomy and the human body, to me, human life is just crazy how it works out. And my whole life has been dedicated to kind of perfecting my own body. So I'd be really interested in seeing the limits of the body and, seeing how we can push the limits. So any research that's on that, I'd be totally interested in.
Yeah. So, I'm wondering, do you have any advice for young people who are interested in pursuing a life or career in science, or maybe even particularly student athletes maybe that are interested in science and aren't sure how they can fit into a life or career in study of science?
Yes, definitely. I have a message for them because I've been there and I know how it is. And I just want to encourage them to know that, you can do both. And in fact, doing both gives you an edge over your peers because, you're used to time management, having to balance the workload of both your classes and the lab hours with that of your lifts, practices, and games. That's something that it makes you better and it lasts with you post-college as well. And then, things like the ability to work with a team, right? So in a research setting, that's super important. You definitely get those skills where you're able to communicate. Also, the ability to work under pressure, right? So if you're, in the last minutes of a game needing to score that goal, like you're able to get it done. It's the same thing in a lab. You get your thesis ready, you get all of your research topics done in time for the deadline because you've already been through that and you're not gonna fold under pressure. So yeah. It's a motivating thing. It's a great thing to be a student athlete, especially in the science world, because it definitely helps you.
That's amazing. So that's such good advice. I'm so pleased that we were able to connect with you and sort of bring what you're doing to the people following March for Science Minnesota. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate your time. For those of you that are getting excited for our upcoming events, please join us at our anniversary rally on April 14th down at St. Paul Capitol, and hopefully we can bring to you more scientists that inspire you, people that are working in science and its sustainability, and I hope to see you there. Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye.
Sophia.
Thank you.